Well, on Capitol Hill, a rare showing of bipartisanship in the House of Representatives, Democrats and Republicans coming together to talk a little bit about a procedural hurdle, overcoming that and opening up the possibility that as early as tomorrow, lawmakers could finally vote on a $95 billion foreign aid package. Now, it'll include, among other things, $60 billion for Ukraine, $17 billion for Israel, and $9 billion in aid for Gaza. After months of waffling on the bill, Speaker Johnson is now one of its biggest champions. Funding Ukraine's fight against Russia is not popular in the GOP, but this week Speaker Johnson said it was time for America to lead.
We know that the world is watching us to see how we react. We have terrorists and tyrants and terrible leaders around the world like Putin and Xi and in Iran, and they're watching to see if America will stand up for its allies and in our own interest around the globe, and we will.
However, the Speaker's new positions puts him at odds with a handful of his party's more conservative lawmakers like Marjorie Taylor Greene out of Georgia, who seem poised to lead an effort to vacate the chair. Let's bring in co-host of At Issue and NBC 10 political commentator Sue O'Connell. Sue, Speaker Johnson is singing a decidedly different tune this week about Ukraine. He was adamantly against the funding proposal for months. So what changed here?
Well, Matt, let's take a look at where we are just this week, right? Israel was attacked by Iran. Israel retaliated today by striking back at Iran. So even though some lawmakers are concerned about the growing civilian deaths in Gaza, most agree that the Israeli funding has to happen. So the Ukraine funding, as you noted, is attached to that. And regarding Johnson's change of stance on Ukraine funding, he said he believes the intel that he's seeing, the briefings, as he said, that Russian President Vladimir Putin will march across Europe if not stopped. And that means if a NATO country is attacked, American soldiers will have to respond. So Johnson has said he is choosing to send bullets to Ukraine rather than American boys. So I think he is seeing that what happens or doesn't happen in Washington, D.C. has important ramifications.
And perhaps one of those situations where you become the guy in charge and you figure out that everything is now on your shoulders.
Exactly.
You have to make hard decisions.
Yep.
Democrats, of course, they also seem to have undergone a change like Speaker Johnson. They're all working toward the same goal now. Do you think if Johnson oversees passage of the aid bill and Marjorie Taylor Greene calls a motion to vacate, are they going to save him this time?
Well, Democrats have said all along that they think Johnson is actually someone they can work with when it comes to these kind of common goals, so they'll be there for him. But the Republicans have such a razor-thin majority in the House that the balance of power is actually with the Democrats. So whether or not they save Johnson from a potential motion to vacate vote, I think, Matt, is a very much day-to-day sort of call.
And a lot of Democrats and a handful of Republicans, they've pointed out that some very conservative lawmakers in their attempt to discourage funding for Ukraine are pretty much using Putin talking points, arguing the same position he is. What's behind that? Is it just being done in an effort to want the opposite of whatever Joe Biden wants, or is there something else here?
You know, Matt, I absolutely do not know why so many Republican lawmakers and right-wing media outlets are basically echoing Russian propaganda. For example, Republican Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene, she retweeted a post from a Russian-based propaganda outlet that alleged that Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky bought a yacht with the military aid money. That is not true. So why would an American lawmaker forward Russian propaganda? I do not know, Matt.
A lot going on here. Sue O'Connell breaking it all down for us. Thanks, Sue.
You're welcome.